All right, so we're going to cover some common counters or common attacks our partner will initiate off of our K-guard positioning or De La Riva scoop positioning. So again, this De La Riva scoop is kind of the prerequisite for going into a standing K-guard. Because my legs are on the outside, there's certain movements we're susceptible to, and one of those is a stacking movement. So there's a few variations of this. You can use a regular scoop, which we're going to do right now, or you can use a cross scoop, which we'll do next. But if he starts to go under this leg, so because my legs are on the outside, he may be able to V-grip this leg and make space and start to dip himself underneath and start to go into a stack pass. So now he's behind my hips, and if I try to go into the K-guard right here because he's underneath both legs, I'm going to kind of facilitate his stack pass and make it easier for him. So this is something I have to address immediately. So in general, I'm trying to keep my hips very, very heavy on the mat so he can't get under me. Once I get my knee to the inside to this K position, then I'm free to lift my hips up because then I can actually go into the movement that I'm looking to do. But if prior to that he starts to get under, I'm trying to pull my hips down to the mat as much as I can. So I'm not allowing him to kind of push me up on my shoulders. I'm using this scoop and I'm sagging my hips very heavy. It's kind of difficult to see, but there's a difference between when I'm kind of very, very light on my hips and then when I'm heavy on my hips, it makes it much harder for him to move me. So as he goes to dip this arm inside, immediately I'm controlling at his finger line. So thumb on bottom, 4 fingers on top, and I make space. I pummel this right inside to the chest. So now even if he's underneath my other leg, it's going to allow me to invert that knee inside into that K position, and then I can start to move into my K-guard attacks from there. So again, we're going to be covering all the attacks later on, but just once you get to this position, this is extremely common. So he starts to get underneath my hips. I sag my hips to make them nice and heavy. Once this hand starts to come inside, immediately I'm catching that right at the knuckle line. So thumb on bottom, 4 fingers on top. So when he goes to start to lift my hips up, I slide his hand up and I pummel my foot inside the shoulder, just like this. Now my right foot's inside the chest and I use that to invert the knee inside. Now I have my K-guard hook. When he goes to continue to try to stack me, it's really difficult for him. When this does happen, we did discuss this leg being very, very low, but when he does start to get that hand inside, and I do start to pummel, and he starts to drive into me, I can always push this left foot right on his stomach right here. So I talked about this being low, but this is a situation when he's driving in, using the foot on the stomach can help me make space to make it easier for me to initiate my K-guard attack. So this is very, very important, like that you guys have like early defense on this. As soon as that hand starts to weave inside, you're sagging your hips, you're clearing the grips, and getting your feet on your partner, and then continuing your K-guard motion. If you get to a situation where your hips are completely stacked up in the air, I mean, you're almost not even attacking anymore, you're just going into full stack pass defense at that point.